good afternoon and welcome back to Rangers Radio. Joining myself up here on the show will be with us shortly is the one and only Albert. In a disappointing game at the Newsomund Park, Rangers drew 1-1 with the players abject, the coaching staff abject. The only highlight of the day is the tremendous support and backing for the Rangers fans who once again sold out their full allocation. And where do we start for there? Where do we start? I'll give you my thoughts before Albert comes in because I've had to give him some value to get him off the ceiling. The only one, James Sands, pretty much pass marks. Done okay in a job, but he's a round peg in a square hole, or a square peg in a round hole. Alan McGregor, one save to make, made it. And then Leon King showed his inexperience. We lose a goal. In the first half, we'd lose a player. I thought the passing, particularly for Tavernier and Lundstrom, was appalling. Alfredo Morelos, we love his son, but it's time, mate. It's time. The love affair could be coming to an end. I thought we were poor. Didn't create a lot in the first half. We dominated. And then the second half started. Alfredo's push. We lost a corner for a Tillman. How that boy appeared in the second half. Giovanni, please put it on the back end. A stamp, addressed envelope and send me how that boy Tillman managed to stay on. Along with a few of them we had. And then we lose a goal. And then we huffed and puffed. Got a penalty kick after VAR. Corrected the guy's decision. How he thought that was a dive was beyond me. And I thought we were going to win the game. We made the goal. We made one save in the next 20 minutes, and that was a header for Ryan Jack for an out-swinging corner, which is ridiculous. Albert, it's time.
I think you're right, mate. I think you're right. I'm no one for sacking managers and jumping on the bandwagon with the mob, know what I mean, just to call on somebody's head, but it is time. It is time. There's no excuse for that. I'm just going to say it out loud, but the players aren't good enough, mate. It's as simple as that. They're no good enough. He's no good enough, and the players are definitely no good enough. It's time for, you're talking about Morelos, it's time for most of that team to go. I'm not sick of watching them. They're just stupid players as well. Playing stupid type of football. It really is. It's beyond belief what they're up to. Beyond belief.
Poor, our energy's poor, our decision making's poor. Yeah, we're supporting the ball, and I'll say that a lot of that comes from we don't look fit as a group.
And we've worked in nothing, mate. Tavernier's out taking corners, out swinging corners all day again. I'm saying to myself, but as you... I try to hold my temper, mate. It's hard. They're working on nothing. That coaching team are working on nothing, man. They must be playing cards or something and letting them go out there and kick a ball out for 20 minutes and then that's it for the day. Because that's pathetic. That is absolutely, totally pathetic. There is no idea in that team. You can see there's nobody at the tiller. Nobody's actually guiding that team. Nobody's actually saying, this St Mirren are weak at this, that, this is it, we're going to attack here, this is what... Same crap week after week after week. And it has to stop. And the only way you can stop it is get rid of the manager.
Unfortunately, and some of the players will need to disappear in the future. You can't do anything with them, but it's time, mate.
Oh, it's time.
It's time.
It's time.
I think I've been more than fair with Gio. And listen, stranger things have happened in football, but it doesn't look like it. Our shape is all wrong. Our selection, our substitutions. I mean, I know the boy's playing in midfield, and I know he's done Stephen Davis, but Stephen Davis in 20 years' time could have done more than that boy Tillman done after 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, the boy just disappeared. Along with others, I may add, Albert.
I said before we started that Tillman, Kent, Morelos, and Wright all had to come to the party today. Well, Kent came for a wee while. The other three didn't. They just did turn up. Let's be honest. Tillman can be a player, mate, but his attitude's crap. It's non-existent. His attitude. It just does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. If he can be bothered doing it. Sorry, mate, I interrupt you. Go.
See, when we're pushing for the goal, and but the last, there's still about 15 minutes to go, you know, and Scott Wright, he's went to inside right, mate. Now, whether that was he was told to go there technical, I don't know. So Tavernier could push up. I don't know. But he's a winger who you want taking players on, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think he influenced to play once then, you know? If that was a tactical decision, it was poor once again. And if it was Wright's decision, he was hiding. Yeah. I would give Kent a bit of credit. At least he kept going. Yeah, at least he kept going.
I've said it before, but we never hide socks. He never hide. No matter how bad he's playing, he never hides. But it's frustrating to watch him.
When there was about 3 or 4 minutes to go after he got the penalty, he had a chance. He had the boy isolated up again and never went by him again. Yeah.
Yeah. Wrong decision again.
Aye, he came back your way and played that inside. He had him just keep going. He had to beat him. Right, we get these phone lines opened.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, I'm going to sit back and let you get your bit off your chest. I mean, on you go. On you go.
Well, the game itself, there's not much to say about the game. You've covered the game. I'll talk about the players if you don't mind. They're stinking, mate. They're absolutely stinking. They're no quality. They're not going to get any quality either. Take the defence aside. That's just a makeshift defence. The boy King made a mistake, cost us. But he was always going to make the mistakes. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. He's only 18, the boy. I'm not blaming him at all. I'm not blaming McGregor either. Barisic caught out position. Kroos comes in for his side again, or a throw-in comes in for his side again. Alfie does what Alfie does, gets himself booked. I don't think it was a booking, to be perfectly honest, but for that, they get instead of us getting the ball back after them, we actually give them the tip for a free kick to knock down to there, which actually goes out for a shy for them, which they cross in and throw in.
Tell him and lazily he did it out for a shy, mate.
Aye, that's it, just laziness. Right. So Tav scores the penalty. He done well to score the penalty. The game was due. He scored that penalty, but he done nothing in the game. As I said before, he's an attacking fullback. His game is all about attacking, and if he's not attacking and getting good crosses and he's taking shots and setting up goals and scoring goals, he's useless. He's totally useless to the team. He can't defend. He just cannot defend. You get into the midfield, Lundstrom hiding as usual. He loves playing that position though, because he can hide, and he hid the day. He was woeful the day, and I mean woeful. His passing is slow and ponderous. He's no vision for a forward pass, no, a cutting pass. He sees runners too late. He wants to go the same way all the time. He's going the safe pass. If it's no left, it's right, but it's always a safe pass. He never actually takes a chance of splitting a defence open way a pass.
His passing was poor as well, mate.
Oh, his passing was poor. The only thing he's got is a cross-field pass. That's his whole locker. That's why he shouldn't be playing in that position. If you see a player who can play that position, you'll see it's night and day. It's night and day, mate. But he's not that player. His game is up front, further forward, and he needs to move more. He's too lazy a player. I don't think he's got the injury, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that's why Sheffield Wednesday had him away out on that right-hand side or left-hand side and told him he could stay as far away from the ball as possible because he's stinking on it. But my idea of him, you've got to remember, by the way, he came for a team that's fighting relegation, and what he done against St Johnson, he gave up that, the guy he lost the ball against him, chase back, he just gave up. I'm saying to myself, you definitely know the guy you want to fight in a relegation battle, and you definitely know the guy you want to fight for a title. That team didn't look at they're fighting for a title today. That team just looked at the go through the motions today. You've got Kamara, miles off the pace, mate. Okay, he's been out injured, that's fair enough, but he was miles. Trying flicks and tricks. I'm saying, you can't get the basics right, son. Your boy's bouncing off you. Try and get the basics right before you start your flicks and tricks. Then you look at Tillman. Tillman's lazy. He does what he wants, the boy. He's got all the ability in the world. He has got great technique and all the ability. But one, he's big. Well, there's more than one, Buffalo. He will not shoot. I don't understand that boy, why he won't shoot. He just refuses, as does our whole forward line. Refuse to shoot.
Kamara for 8 yards, mate.
Wouldn't shoot. Exactly. The whole team, I'm saying the forward, the whole team's like this. They'll no shoot. You're going, why no shooting? I don't understand it. And I don't understand. That tells me that the coaching staff's crap and all, because this has been going on for long enough. This isn't just this game. And then every week we watch it, and every week we do the same thing, and you're going, why are you not telling them to shoot? Why you not get routines in training where they're running way the ball into that area and taking a shot? I don't understand it, man. There's nothing makes sense about this Rangers team at all. Nothing.
If we're being kind to Giovanni, and I'll say that, it looks as if he's lost the dressing room, because it doesn't seem any urgency, and the players don't look to be buying into them. If we're being critical of them, your tactics are wrong, your team's unfit, and your substitutions and what you're doing is clueless. Now we accept that you're short of personnel, but let's go through that team. Alan McGregor, we gave him a new contract, and we gave him the number 1 slot back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tabs were captain. Borner's gone to the World Cup. Sands an American international, and we've got a young boy filling in. In midfield, we had a big signing last summer, no summer before, in Lundstrom. Mm-hmm. Kamara, one of our so-called internationalists and top player, all right, coming back from injury. And Tillman, a new signing, is meant to be a guy that's going to create up front. Our highest signing in the present era, Ryan Kent. Our top striker, let's be honest, in the last 5 years, Alfredo Morelos, Colombian international, and Scott Wright. So there's maybe 2 of the players that maybe you wouldn't say are genuine first-team players, or maybe 3 if you throw Tillman in. King, Tillman, and maybe Wright. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And the rest of them are all what you would call guys that's in about the first team. So it's not as if we had 6 youngsters playing, mate, yeah?
Mm-hmm. There's no excuses, mate. There's no excuses.
No excuses. It's time, mate. Look, I praise the board for the financial results, yeah? They've mm-hmm. done some great stuff off the park, and I've done some great stuff on the park. And people, we'll try to give them time, but 3 out of the 4 last 4 games, St Mirren, St Johnstone, and Livingston, mate. 2 points out of 9. 2 points out of 9. Yeah,
you don't win titles like that.
No, and it's just we can't use the injuries are a factor in my form, but there shouldn't be a factor in the result. We should have enough. Albert?
I think it's time. I agree with you, mate. I agree. Totally agree. He can't. His big flaw, if he's many flaws, is he can't win away from home as well. He's hopeless. His away record is hopeless. Just hopeless. And that's now 10 defeats this season. Ridiculous.
That was a draw today.
Sorry, a draw. It's 9 defeats and 3 draws. Sorry, it's no good enough, mate. It's just no good enough. It's what it is.
Anyway, we've been joined by old Davey. All right, Davey.
Aye, is that you, Ox? Yeah.
Aye, mate. Usually, innit?
Well, Albert, how you doing, guys? Can you do us a favour, Ox? Can you phone the fire brigade for me? I'm up on top of the roof, and I'm just in this. The one who's blowing me. I don't know whether to go for it or no. That's shocking, man.
Wait a minute. Is there any chance? See if you're going to jump. Is there any chance you can turn your camera on?
The thing is, it's a Wendy house.
Is your wife?
That's tall enough, mate. That's tall enough.
Is your wife? Is your wife in Wendy's house?
It's getting serious now, you know, and it ain't funny.
It's time.
The one thing, I mean, you could dissect that game left, right, and centre. You could go on and on about it, and you'll never get a conclusion that you want to hear. But see, the thing for me today, see that booking that Morelos picked up at the start of the second half. He should have been worked off the park there and then, because that was totally. That just sums him up.
But Abelis looked somebody unfit, unmotivated, who's checked out. Yeah. Now, I don't know if the manager or his injury or his form or whatever, but that's what he looked like to me, Davey. And
we're playing with 10 men there, Docs. We're playing there with 10 men.
I don't know if we were playing with 10, David. You could throw Tillman and a few others into that, Albert.
I think it was less than 10, David. You've been generous, pal. You've been generous. Aye, you're right. You checked it. I'll tell you how bad it was, David. That Morelos wouldn't have got into that St Mirren team today. That's how bad that was. That's how bad he was today. That's a disgraceful thing to say. But that's a fact of life. He wouldn't have got into their team. And they're rotten. They've just got one idea. I mean, they big lumps up front. And the boy King took a bad one, by the way. You watch this. What I've seen is that he elbows him in the face. Or the back of the head. Sorry, he elbows in the back of the head, and they never get showed again. It's funny that, isn't it? They never done a repeat. What they've done with Morelos.
No, they never showed that again. It'd be interesting to see it.
I was just going to ask you about that, actually.
I never seen it again. I only seen it the once. I think they showed you it quickly, but I never caught it.
It's an elbow, mate. It's an elbow in the back of his head. That's why I've seen it.
I hope. First and foremost, we hope the boy Leon King's all right. Yeah.
Aye. Of course we do, mate. Of course.
You know, we might have a bit of sorry. I hope everything's all right. David, you were going to come in there.
Yeah, I thought the referee was diabolical. And that doesn't make any excuses for us. Does not in any way. And as far as King's, that tackle, he should have been that guy. If you obviously we didn't see it again, and you listen to Andy Walker, he does my nothing. A guy just came right across him with his arm and caught him and knocked the boy out near enough. But the referee, I mean, that showed you, all right, they can all get my decisions wrong. But Clancy just is, he's on another planet, that guy.
I'm going to try and see it, David. I'll see it and see where it takes us. But I don't think we should focus on Kevin Clancy today. VAR done which VAR should do, and we got the penalty. They looked a penalty all day long. I think if we talk about the referee, we'll try to camouflage your feelings, Albert.
See if he doesn't book Kent. See if he doesn't book him for that. I don't think they're telling him to review it. I think they'd let him away with it. But the fact that he booked him as well, that they went, here, we better get him and have a look at this again. And I think
they think it was a dive.
I know. Because he's a blue jersey, I mean, let's be honest about it. I mean, Morelos gets booked, and I'm looking at him going, like, Morelos, that's him looking to send you off a day to get his name back in the papers again. That's you. Just set yourself up. And that's Morelos out the whole second half. Because it's Clancy and he wants to send him off. He's looking for any excuse to send him off. Anything would have done. See, if that was Morelos, he's an off the part. See, the tackle was right. He didn't get booked. He should have got booked, actually. That would have been Morelos doing that tackle. He'd have been off the part. And I'm saying this is what you're up against, mate. It's ridiculous. But you give them a chance. You play stupid and act stupid, and we're stupid players. Let's be honest. They're stupid players doing stupid things. That St Mirren, they're bigger. They're outfought us. They're bigger than us. They're stronger than us, and they're cuter. They're smarter than us. They know how to con the referee. Don't get me wrong. The referee wants conned when it's Rangers, but they just fall down all the time. Sorry, mate.
We should be able to do that, mate. In our quality, we should be able to move the ball quicker, pass, run, dribble around them, have them tied back and put the ball in the net. Yeah. And see when we got to
quality, mate, but
see when we got to 25 minutes and we'd huffed and puffed. It was like a rerun of last week, Davey.
Oh, definitely, Oxon. 100% way. But as Albert just says there, it's down to the players. And unfortunately, at this moment in time, guys, we don't have them. And it's abundantly clear we don't have them. So that's where it's going to change. You can scream for the manager, you can scream for the coach, you can scream for everything like that. Nobody will turn that squad round about. And even getting injuries back, certain lines could improve us. But that's a tear-up job, for me anyway.
Aye, that's what you do, mate. Tear it up. I'm sick of the sight of some of these players as well, mate. I'm just sick of the sight of them. I'm sick of trying to make excuses for them.
I thought the Forward were particularly bad today, in my opinion. Were Tavernier with the passing the ball, Lundstrom with the passing the ball, even in the first half, and Morelos and Tillman, mate. But I mean, There was others bad as well, but I thought they four collectively were awful. Anyway, we'll be joined by Blue Star. Afternoon, Blue Star.
Afternoon, Ox, Old Bear, Old Davy. Oh, guys, you need to stop trying to pick up excuses. Forget referees, forget everything else. Listen,
I don't think anybody.
Ox, you are still digging up excuses. There's no excuses. The last 3 games we all knew we had to win. We get beat with St Johnstone. We literally crawled over the line against Hearts at Ibrox. That the day, that team outfought us. Albert got that right. They outfought us. How many balls went between our players and their players nipped in front of them? It's absolutely shocking. I keep hearing certain guys saying it's embarrassing. It's worse than embarrassing. That's not a Rangers team out there. It's as simple as that. And they players, Gio has had more than enough time to try and G them up, and he can't even do that. It's not there, guys. They're slow, they're ponderous, they look unfit. Morelos, I said it last week, he should never, ever, ever pull that shirt on again. That the day was worse than criminal for him. Worse than criminal. He's strolling about that park as if I'm a wee flipping thingby. And incidentally, Ox, and I will say it, see this carry on when he's crossing himself coming on the park? That man was repeatedly told by our board, if he's going to do that, he does it in the tunnel before coming on the park. And that's defiance for him. We all know it. And we're not supposed to talk about it.
I don't believe a word of that, mate, because there's another...
Well, that's up to you, Ox. I can assure you it's right. But the bottom line is, he shouldn't be on the park under our name. He has done nothing. He's not even fit. He's had more than enough time to get fit. You can see him. He's slow and ponderous, and he couldn't give a monkeys. That's the facts. And there's too many players there. Quite frankly, they have to go. They have to go. They shouldn't be there. Their time is up.
Hardest bit in football, getting rid of players. Albert, I don't think we blame the referee, and a lot of stuff that Blue Star says. It's just repeated what we've said, mate. Yeah, carry on, Albert.
I don't think we blame the referee. No, we're just pointing out facts what he done today. It didn't make any difference to us on the result, or how we would have made any difference that we'd have won the game or anything like that. No, I wouldn't have done that.
I've just come across you. I've been sent a video. It's a red card, by me. It's a red card.
Told you, caught him in the back of the head, didn't he?
Carry on, mate.
Who's that for, Ox?
That
Main.
Main.
We can. Yeah. So I cared all day long. I seen it right away, and I'm going like that. That's why they didn't show you. That's why VAR didn't get involved in it. I went, I didn't say that I cared. I went, he elbowed that boy in the back of the nut. He really did, by the way. He gave him a badging. All of a sudden, we don't want to see this. Nobody wants to see that. And look at this. Look at the amount of time the boy was lying on the ground that you could have showed that. How many times would you have showed that if it was Morelos? They'd have probably showed that about 12 to 20 times, the amount of time the boy was on the ground. If that was Morelos. Not once did he show you. Not once. That's ridiculous, boy. That boy could be seriously injured. And that you didn't even see the replay. Terrible. Knew it. And we Kent, if he doesn't book Kent, they'll not ask them to review that. I'll guarantee you that one as well. That's the only reason they asked them to review that. Because the Celtic Gimps are already in their ears, by the way. They're already in their ears. VAR's never going to work in this country. Sorry, mate.
Their decisions don't, even if they did go down to 10 men, our lack of quality, our lack of pace, our lack of skill, our lack of desire, our lack of coaching, our lack of leadership is all apparent. And it has been for a while. Yeah, and domestically, it's not been great for maybe heading towards a calendar year, if we're being honest.
Spot on.
I agree with that. Totally agree with that.
I think it's time. I don't dislike the guy. He doesn't wind me up the way that Pedro Caixinha said done. But I think it's time, and I don't know if we could be confident, unfortunately, if we could invest in him and the director of football, bringing in new money. The board have got a decision to make. They've made great decisions after part, turning our finances around, getting our revenue streams for the future as well. A lot of things sorted. And now they've got a big football decision to make. All there.
Yeah, and they're no. I mean, they show you they're no slow making a decision. It has to be made. I'm not talking about the football side. I'm talking about the financial side. So if they can do it with that, they can do it with this. Because I don't know anybody's behind you anyway. I mean, I know none of the fans are behind them, and I don't know if there's any of the players behind them now. And I don't care if the players are behind them at all. I just think they're stinking, the players. I don't like them. I want them away. Not for me, mate. As I just said before Blue Star came on, there's some of them sick of the sight. Absolutely sick to death of the sight of them. They're serial losers, mate, and they're never going to be winners. They're just not going to do it. Get them out, and get them out now.
It's not that, guys. The problem we've got to know is, I'm being truthful, I actually do like the guy. I think he's a pleasant guy. He comes across not too bad. But you're watching him the other day. Now, he knows he's under that much pressure. And you're not even seeing him coming onto the touchline to say, right, get out there and get into him. I want to see a guy with a bit of passion. He's sitting there and he looks at that wee laptop and you're going, come on, he grips, flip and show some fire in the belly or something. It's not protruding into the players. The players are going out there and there's this lethargy. There's nothing for anywhere, Ox, as you say, for the back to the front. It's just ponderous. There's
a disconnect, mate. It's apparent that, I don't know if you say that term, you've lost the dressing room, Blue Star. Yeah, but
that's what it looks like, then, and Ox, you've been talking about all the time, and you're right there when you're talking about the board doing this and doing that. What does our board do? I mean, we're looking at it now and we're going, well, if they've got to pay all them off, that's going to cost a few million quid. If they pay them off and then they've got to pay somebody else to come in, have they got the cash, quite frankly, to bring in 6, 7 players? Because that's what's needed. Maybe even more, plus paying all these other ones off. What's there, Albert's right? They guys are no longer fit for purpose to wear our shirt. That's apparent. Can another guy come in and G them up? Ox, I don't see it at all. I really do think they're past it. Honestly, I do. I think there's too many shot their boat last season. They should have been away.
Maybe. I mean, look, getting rid of players in football is the hardest thing now, when they're on decent contracts, because a lot of them are only going to go one way when they leave us all, Davy.
Oh, definitely. But, I mean, the point I was, just to bring Oliver, the point I was making about the referee, I wasn't meaning that it would have changed the way the game went. I was just highlighting some of these. I mean, when I brought it up about King, and you said you hadn't seen it, now that you've seen it, that should get reviewed, and that should be punished.
It's not good for getting reviewed, is it? And what's the point of that if we don't check a dangerous decision, potential red card?
Yeah. But I think they can still go back to a game. And
but the game's
yeah,
done.
No.
Aye. Anyway, we've been joined by Denver. Morning, Denver, you.
Good morning, guys. 8:10 in the morning here in Colorado.
Back to your bed, Denver.
Oh, I think so. I think that's the key, man. Been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, we've seen that movie before, eh? It was just like a carbon copy of last week.
Aye, pretty much, Denver.
I mean, you could, when you watched it there about 30 minutes, Ox, you just felt every time they went up the park they were going to score, and we weren't. We've seen it all before, But I know this is going to sound a weird thing, but I don't think the guy should lose his job. I think the only way he can do anything is if he gets rid of the dross and then relies on the young team, because the league's gone, the league's finished.
Denver, would you trust them to get the funds for new players to come in? Do you actually trust them that way?
Aye, because as you said, Blue Star, if you bring another guy in, are they going to change anything? Are they players going to get any better? I don't think so.
Maybe get his fitter. Maybe get his fitter and change to a system that works. We're playing to a system in midfield that doesn't work.
I think.
Oh, it's not just midfield. See that carry on the two wingers and just firing balls into one man up front. That's just disastrous. That doesn't work in the modern game. I don't know where he's got that for. You could have the world's best striker in there and he would struggle. You need more than one man in the box. You know what I mean? Our midfield don't get forward and help. That all has to change, no matter who it is.
The tactics, carry on, Denver. The tactics are poor.
You know, I think it summed it up in the first couple of minutes where Kamara gives the ball away in midfield. You know, it just break your heart. You know, a guy with that skill and he gives the ball away so easily, you know, it just, oh my God.
Sands too, guys. What about that one for Sands? Goodness me. Aye.
He was one of the only ones I gave any pass marks to, and that was 5 1/4, if I'm being honest, just for his endeavour. Just for endeavour.
Scott Wright certainly tried, you know, for once. But the rest, I know.
Scott Wright's a guy that is a good impact player. You know, when he comes on like he did, was it midweek he came on? And he looked the part. But you know when he plays the 90 minutes, he can't do it.
I gave McGregor pass marks for spelling his name right.
McGregor done what he was asked to him. He made the save when it counted, and then he never get supported, didn't he? He kept it out the goal.
See when he ran out the box, guys, that was well earned. That was near enough between the 18-yard line and the halfway line. He shoved Tab forward and he screamed at a whole lot of them, get up that park. That's what we needed for the rest of the players.
Yeah. I think we need a change. Denver, do you know, I admire you for your views. I don't dislike Giovanni, but he was a great player for us in the short term he was with us, and he's gave us a couple of, well, when you throw in the semi-final against Leipzig, he'll be talked about forever, and obviously gone to Seville, and then we bounced back and won the Scottish Cup. But domestically, he's been out-coached by Martindale, he's been out-coached by Callum, and then he's been out-coached today by the boy Robinson, is it? Stephen Robinson. And, you know, he's been out-coached by them. You know, they've just sat in, stoked us, big boys in the middle, he did it away, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's gone back to what you were saying during the week there, Ox, about, you know, goal scoring. You know, we go 30 minutes there. We never looked like scoring at all. And
see, when we got the goal, mate, after we got the goal, their goal, we had one save to make, and that was for a Newt singing corner for about maybe 12 yards for Ryan Jack.
That's right.
Correct.
That was it. It wasn't a save, it was a catch.
Yeah. And look at the last two games, K-Ox. How many shots did Gordon have to save on Wednesday night at Ibrox? It's unbelievable. Name. So there's nothing happening up front.
What do you think ultimately will happen here, Ox? Do you think he'll walk away, or do you think they'll fire him?
Would you walk away, Denver?
He'll no walk. He won't walk.
Nah.
We'll put it this
his
way,
interview there, he actually looked at, he gave that interview there straight after it, and he's turned around and says he has no fear whatsoever. They'll have a talk and see what happens over the next couple of months. I think they've already had the talk, guys. I think they've told him he'll be there at least at the end of the season. And if that's the case, that's why I'm asking you. Do you honestly see that board turning around and giving him a right few million to bring in players? Because it's evident, no matter who's in charge now, players have to be brought in. That's an absolute gimme. So if they've had that conversation, then he certainly seemed confident enough he's staying in the job.
Before Albert comes in, Albert, I'll say this to Denver, and you can come in, mate. Look, unfortunately, I think it's time. I think the days the straw breaks the camel's back because of reform. There's always a straw. People have been calling for a few weeks now because of a run of results. And you understand it when you magnify everything through with the European run. Domestically, up to a few weeks ago, we shot myself in the foot. And now it's a straw that broke the camel's back. Both stars saying that did we find the money to get rid of him? We might not be able to afford to keep him, mate, because of the loss in revenue when people get browned off. Albert?
I think you're right. Ross Wilson needs to understand as well. If Van Bronckhorst does get his books and we pay him off, that's an £8 to £10 million failure on his part. Because see these, if you got to remember, everything we've got is saleable, and that's including our manager. Look at the money we got for Steven Gerrard. So when the Rangers, we sign a manager, we're looking for somebody to come and poach him off us. It's a revenue stream for us, mate. And this one is going to cost us $4 million probably to get rid of him, and it's $4 million we actually could have got the other way round if he get poached. So this way, £8 to £10 million walking out the door again. Another £10 million failure by Ross Wilson. So that's why I'm looking to go like that. I want the guy to be. We all want him to be a success. No, I mean we really do, but it's not happening. It's you can't flog a dead horse like this. It's not right. And there's no plan, and there's no talking for Rangers about it, what the future is, what we're trying to do, what we're going to do. There's just nothing, absolutely nothing. Now to build a squad. We'll not get millions. We'll get some millions, but we'll not get the millions that everybody thinks we're going to, like 20 and 30. But we're not getting that. But what you can do, I was counting up the other day and all the players doing a wee exercise myself, and I reckon it would take something between 24 and 30 million to build a new squad, right? And I would reckon hard cash, you'd only probably need anywhere between 6 and 8 million to do it.
I'll cut across you. We've been joined by, I think it's Evan. How are we doing, Evan?
Yes, how are we doing? Yes, yeah. It's Evan. I'm here with my Uncle Jordy there. How are we doing?
We're just dismayed. The board is.
Hi. How are you doing?
One at a time. This will know what. Yeah. Right.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just listening to the radio live here. Sorry. No, it's just one at a time.
Right, on you go. Speak.
Right.
Turn the radio.
Aye.
Turn the radio.
Aye. Okay. So, we were just wondering about the board, what was happening, why Gio's no left yet, and if it's going to cost money.
The board's fine. They're not there.
Is the board behind?
I don't think that's going to work. If you phone in, lads, turn the phone back in, turn the radio off, like you were told today in the reception, or it'll no work. The board have got a decision to make. Right, I'll make it easy. Denver, you're saying game a bit of time, yeah? That's your neck. Yeah.
Aye, I'm still there, yeah.
Davey, you usually swing both ways. What way are you swinging this time?
I'm with Denver.
You're such a nice guy, Davey. Albert?
No, it's time for me to go.
Blue Star?
I'd love it to work for him, but I think it's time to go, Ox, a day.
I think it's time when you start getting to the decision when you're saying can we afford to keep him, afford to get rid of him. You start looking at them. I think it's time. Unfortunately, it's time. I don't see any improvement domestically, and we can't blame injuries for that team today. The vast majority of that team were first team players. Albert.
That's it. I mean, they're all supposed to be able to step in there and take up the slack. That's what they're there for. That's what we pay them for. When they can't do it, they fail every time. Near enough every time we put them on. And if they do get a victory, Blue Star says, they're scrambling them. They're no comfortable victories. They're no, we're Rangers, we're better players than the team we're playing. No matter who we play, we scramble and we scrape and we look disorientated, no interested, no plan, no tactics. It's just disgraceful. Just disgraceful. And well, thank God, I think can he go, and it's not going to go. It's got a 5-week break, and thank God for that. And it's more that.
By the way, I think that would influence my decision. I'm glad you mentioned that. That would I don't know who's with us. Who's with us? Is that Davey? Sorry, Andy.
Andy, Andy,
turn the show off or turn the telly off in the background, mate.
Danielle, can you turn the telly off, please? In the living room.
And we're getting, sorry about that, guys. Andy, we're getting some interference for you. Is your microwave on in your kitchen?
No.
Watch yourself, Andy. Who have you snoring in one leg and all that humming the sash?
You know what? It's all that. I fall for it all the time, man. Every single time I bite back and think that do you know what I mean? He does that all the time with me. And I say, I'm so sorry, sorry, blah, blah, blah.
Right, good we can still laugh. Right, the floor's yours.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely. But anyway, right, I just wanted to say that when I phoned in on Thursday, I'm sure you remember, I said don't hold your breath with that 1-0 win with Hearts, because there's no drive, desire or anything in that team. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst can't get this team riled up. If I was a manager and I knew I had to win those last two games to get into the winter break and then try get injuries back, you know, things like that, and then regroup and try and get the players on the same hymn sheet, then I would, you know, I would do everything in my power. But today again, absolutely lacklustre midfield, absolutely no drive, no passion, the same horseshoe passing again. It's just the same old story all over again, Ox. An interview at the end, I knew what he was going to say. I'm sure everybody knew what he was going to say. And I remember Kenny phoning in months and months and months ago and saying he has to go or this will get worse. And the guy's been proven to be right.
Aye, obviously people are entitled to opinion. See the horseshoe and see if you were playing in midfield with that target, with that thing. The problem is with that system, there's nothing to hit going forward, and that's the problem. Blue Star, it's obvious to me, you know.
Bang on, Ox. And the annoying thing is, you can. I mean, that's one thing we can all see with our own eyes. You can see what he wants them to do, but you've got to have the proper players to be able to play that way, and we don't have them. I.e., we've got one guy to hit up front, and we've got no drive for midfield. So therefore, you've got to try and change it up from game to game. He's never changed up anything. He keeps playing the same way. Every manager that comes up against him knows exactly what they're facing, so they can nullify that by putting their side out, whether to play a low block and just fire high balls. We don't seem to change anything in any game. That's where he's failing. We Martindale and that have got him Fox. Martindale, I said after the game when I phoned in Fox, his exact words were, "No, I'm raging," he says. "Rangers were there for the taking." By the way, he was truthful. We were there for the taking. And that's how other managers are looking at it now and saying, this Rangers defence, if you put in high balls, they're in trouble. You only need to look after one guy up front, so therefore put two guys on him. The midfield, as long as I've got guys in there that can run and kick the ball by them, they'll get by them. And that's exactly what's happening from game to game. And he's never changing it. He's shooting, he's selling, in fact, never mind the fans, and never mind the board. He doesn't seem, he seems bereft of ideas, and we all know he's got injuries and we've got a lack of quality in our players. We all know that. But surely there's ways and means of playing certain games. Walter Smith was a tactician right down to his bottom laces. He knew players that were inferior was up against some of the teams. So what did he do? He set them all up to be able to defend as a team. We can't even do that. We can't attack as a team and we can't defend as a team. So there's only one option. You either change a manager or you've got to change the playing staff. Can they do both? Who knows?
When you get to these situations, it's always the manager that goes all bare, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
That's that, mate. That's that. Rightly so, I suppose. He's ultimately the one who's responsible for this. And his background staff as well. They don't get a free pass, them. They need to go to... No. And he's not doing anything to suggest that...
See if Gio's got to pay his job. So should Ross Wilson, guys. Definitely.
I think Smurf's joined us. Afternoon, Smurf.
Hi, guys. I'm sorry, I'm driving now. Just phone in and pick up on a point that you made yourself, Fox, about, whether Gio should go. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to Denver, he was quite candid, and I totally agree with him. The league's gone now. We've got 5 weeks, or whatever it is, for this World Cup, the worst World Cup in history. And the way I see it is, if he's going to go, or we're going to let him go.
You date the night if he was going to go, but knowing our football staff will wait 4.5 weeks, then we'll do it.
Well, I think the league's gone, and I think the way I look at it is just let them limp through to the end of the season. There's going to be a clear out of players anyway. Guys that are too old come to the end of their contracts. Guys that want to move on naturally. All that stuff. So there's all that natural wasted that will be going out the door with him. And I don't think he affects anything positive by bringing other people in, because ultimately it's going to cost us a lot more money, and we're not going to get a dividend from it. We're not going to win the league. So
did you look at the accounts? Did you look at the accounts yesterday, mate?
I did, aye.
Well, did you see the amount of walk-ins and different people that pay into Ibrox every week? How many millions that's going to add up from now to May? Yeah.
Well, I get that. Aye. There is that point of view, but I just think the common sense thing for me is just to be a bit sensible about things. Let's try and get through to the end of the season.
If you're going to get rid of Giovanni, you do it tonight. If you're going to stick with him, he's still bringing in players next summer. And at the moment, I think that the support will be baffled by that. Albert and Andy.
I mean, I don't trust him to bring players. I don't trust Wilson or him to bring players in, to be honest with you. I don't think they know what we need. That's the point we've got. I don't think we've got a manager who can build a team. I think that's a manager that takes out a good squad and then just sort of tweaks it. But we need a manager that actually can build, like a Tommy Docherty type manager, that actually can build a team. We've not got it. We've named any vision.
You were doing all right up to then. Whoa.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry for mentioning his name.
Listen, Albert, thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. We'll have a nice Christmas, all right? I get your point. You've got to start again. He's got to decide who he keeps, who's gone, who's going to go, who's not playing. Obviously, injuries will play a part in that, but I've got a funny feeling somebody else walks in the door, a lot of them would jump off the treatment table. And Andy, then old David.
Aye. I actually think, you're absolutely spot on what you said there, Oxford. If we definitely need a new face in there, in that dressing room. We absolutely 100% need a new face. There's no doubts about it. As I said before, if Giovanni Van Bronckhorst had different approaches towards game, different game systems, he wouldn't say the same answers to the same questions that the media are asking him every week. The media are asking him different questions. Why are you not changing it? Why is it this? And it's the same old answers every time. And if you ask me, we just need a new face in there. And as you say, I think if we get a new face, we'll start getting, hopefully we'll start getting better results and more people off the injury list, because I don't think they're fit whatsoever, as you say, Ox. I don't think they're fit.
All right, Davey, and then we'll bring in Jimmy, who's joined us. On you go, Davey.
Aye, yeah, a lot of good points there, but you can only work with it, guys. You can only work with the tools you've got, and the tools we've got are all rusty. Well, by sell dates. If we don't change that, nothing will change, because you can bring the best manager in the world in, and that's not going to.
See if your tools are rusty, mate. The job, you've still got to present the drawing properly, and the drawing's not getting presented properly by the coaching team.
Well, can I just say this, Oaks? Were they all screaming for his heads when we won the Scottish Cup? When we go to a cup final? We lost two good players, Aribo and Bassey, and we have not replaced them. And they were part of the powerhouse that we had in the engine room. And that ain't there now. So that's not the manager's fault.
Remember, most of the time we played Aribo, most of the time, not always, but we played him in the right this year. And then when Morelos went out and Roof got injured, they ended up at centre forward, Aribo. So he wasn't in the midfield that often. Bassey, this time last year, let's be honest, if somebody had come in for £500,000 for Bassey, they'd have took it. He had a purple patch. He was outstanding for us. It was just unbelievable what he done. They replaced him with the boy Vilnas and Ben Davis. None of them have worked at the moment. But listen, it's not here. There's an answer Stern is on the place. We'll get Big Stevie. He can be the dietitian. Southside will do the fitness. And I'm a tactical genius that can sort the whole thing out. Anyway, we've been joined by Jimmy. Evening, Jimmy.
Hello, lads. Thanks very much for taking my call. Just another sad day. I never go to the game. I was watching it at telly. I had no ticket. But I think I've supported Gio and the board and all that against all these people.
You made 8 points, mate. Aye.
But I think it's time that we have to change. because he's just not getting a tune out of the players. The squad is, it's not a good squad at all. You know, we've not got good players there anyway. But no matter what, it's up to the management and the coaching staff to get a tune out of what we have got. And what we have got should be enough to beat St Mirren and Livingston and all these other teams. And we're just not capable of doing that now, you know.
Jimmy, when we get beaten in the Champions League, we say, look at the budgets the teams have got.
Aye. The reverse situation still has to apply, but you know, because if you're comparing us to Livingston and St Mirren, it's like comparing Liverpool to us. You know, so that argument just applies the same way.
Or Brentford to Man City.
Aye. Brentford have just beat them 2-1. So these are the things that you're looking at. But unfortunately, I don't believe that Gio's getting them a song. When you seen Ken coming on, and I think they come Ryan Jack, and it showed you the bench. We're just all standing looking at each other and talking a lot. It wasn't as if they had a plan or anything. And then when the boy cost us a goal, the centre half King, and he was looking at his wee palette or his wee eyebook or whatever he was looking at, you know, it was as if to say what had happened. You know, it's just not there anymore. And for his sake, and the people like us that watch him and support him, I think they have to have some kind of change, and they have to have change as soon as possible. Get it done and dusted.
It seems to be, Jimmy, you've been about for a while, right? You've been about, I think in your late 30s, you told us last night. Will you accept that, aye? Right.
If you went to 67, that would be around about that.
Right. So if you they players, that squad, right, we'll agree it's not the best squad of players we've ever had. But they're better than what they're playing, yes or no?
Aye. You have to get it doesn't matter what manager's in place and what players he's got. It's a manager's job and the coaching staff's job to get a tune out of what you've got in place, and then through time bring in better and move them about until you get it refined to how you want it. And that's what their job is. But he's not getting a tune out of these players. Every week it's just what's going to happen. You know, you don't know. We scraped by against Hearts. We got a result against Aberdeen. But the result against Aberdeen was because Aberdeen came down to Ibrox and opened up what they've never opened up before. Because Aberdeen believed the publicity that they were just going to come and roll over Rangers. And no team was going to come and roll over Rangers. But they thought that. And they left it open, and the Rangers exploited that. And it was an open game of football, and the Rangers hammered them. That was why. You know? That was the only reason. But the way it is now...
Then they scored first, mate. Even then they scored first.
The way it is now, it's just not there. But whoever does come in, or whatever does happen, they've got to have a great... One of the things has got to be the recruitment. If a manager is going to get the sack or going to fall, he's got to fall on the basis of his players. The players that he buys, the players that he picks, and the players that he has a big say in getting on the park. Mm-hmm. So like Gerrard brought in Ryan Jack, what's his name, the winger for Liverpool.
Ryan Kent.
So, So he brought him in. He was a mainstay of getting that. He was a mainstay of getting Lundstrom. The other ones are spots and maybes. Wilson would have played a part in all that, you know. But I think whoever comes in has to have the say. And it has to be made clear that he's got the say. Fair enough, the other guy, Wilson, can have a scout about and see who's available. But there's no point in him pushing players to the manager and saying, there you go, see what you can do with that. Because the stakes are too high. We have to get a league title back, and we have to qualify for Champions League football. We're all talking about financial aspects here last night, but that's where your finances come from. The success of the people in the park, and the success of the people in the park is dependent on the players and the relationship that they have with the manager and the coaching staff. And that relationship's not there because we're not playing as a team. It's just like a group of individuals that turn up and see what can happen today.
Cheers, Jimmy.
And that's how I think. That's how I think about it now.
Yeah, well said. Look, I think in some of the words you've said, you don't want to say them, but you feel that's the truth, or that's how you're feeling. Because we don't dislike Van Bronckhorst, but what I will say, it seems to be ending similar to the way and I know he was there longer, and he spent a lot more money, and it's no apples for oranges, apples for apples, Albert. But it seems to be finishing. If you look back when Advocat petered out, mate, I think we lost 3 in a row. It seems to be petering out.
Aye. It's something similar, but I don't know. Time's up. I mean, I would expect Van Bronckhorst to know time's up. If he's a man at all, and if he thinks he can turn this round, well, fair play to him. He's got a job today, but deep down, I don't think he thinks he can turn it round. So if that's the case, he should just do the honourable thing and just walk away and just go, enough's enough, right? Or give me the sack if he wants his money. I don't care, but one way or another, walk away. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't think he believes he can turn the squad round. Even though he gets the ones back for injury, I don't think that's enough to turn the squad round. We need more than that.
Aye. I'll tell you.
Denver. On you go, mate.
I'll tell you one thing. He's a lucky man. This World Cup's coming at the right time for him. I think if we a regular league game next weekend, I think he'd be under even more pressure. But I think that World Cup takes a lot of pressure off him.
I bet he wishes the Australia trip was still taking place so he could disappear the other side of the world. Listen,
Ox, the thing is as well, see if they hang on to him now and they give him to the end of the season, they would still have to pay big bucks to get rid of his team back then anyway. So, as you say, it's the board's decision. Do they stick or twist? Can they afford to stick when you've said it, and we all know it's true, that after the 5 weeks, they've still got to look at the corporate hospitality, etc., etc. They guys aren't going to go and watch that. That's all big money. So if they lose the revenue, that's what hits. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
They need to realise they keep playing that turgid football and that. They'll empty Ibrox. They will empty.
Correct.
I know a lot of people who don't want to watch it. They're not watching it now. I'm barely going to games now. I can't watch it. I just cannot sit there and watch that. And I'm a mad Rangers fan, a raw user, but it's turgid, it's hard, and there's a lot like me now. And if you look about the stadium, the seats are starting to look empty.
I think if the problem is, see if it was the European results in isolation, we'd have took the good with the bad. The good being before the summer and the bad being after the summer, even though we qualified for the Champions League. But domestically, this calendar year, if you go through it, we've dropped points to, and this is from memory, Aberdeen the first game back. I think then we drew with Ross County. I think we drew with Dundee United away. There's 3 away games. We've lost to St Mirren, we've lost to them twice. We've now drew with St Johnstone and St Mirren all away. Yeah. So that would tell me, if I was sitting looking at it, even before this season, whatever I'm doing away from him ain't working, and he ain't changed it. And for that reason only, it's time for me. Jimmy?
And even at home, Ox, even the home games have been dire.
Let Jimmy come in, mate. Jimmy?
I know, I agree 100% with what you're saying. Is a day waste of the time. I think one of the things that went in his favour, which was very sad, was the death of Her Majesty, the cancellation of the Aberdeen game up at Pittodrie. Because I think if we'd been up there at that time, we'd have got beat there, and that would have brought things to a head maybe a wee bit quicker, you know. But it didn't. The game was cancelled. But he's just not getting a tune at the players now. And I think people say about doing the honourable thing. He's not going to do that, you know, because there's too much money involved in football. What will happen is it'll go by mutual agreement, you know. I would hope that the board will have them in and say, right, if you go, we'll give you this. And that's the two.
I'll tell you what will happen, mate. He'll go and we'll just keep paying his wages, mate. That's what will happen. We'll have to find that. Whatever that coaching staff costs us, say.
I honestly believe he's got an affection for the Rangers. You know,
yes,
I believe he's a Rangers man. You know, I also believe that he couldn't. But I also believe that he thought he had better than what he actually has there as far as players goes. You know, because it is a very poor squad. You know, no matter what Andy says.
And you come, Andy. And you come.
Yeah. Just want to say that I agree. We definitely need a new face, and I think it's. I don't dislike the man by any means, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, but I do think it's time. His time is up. As you just named off a few away games there, and nothing changes. If you can't change what's not working, then you're not doing it right. You're not doing your job right. If I was doing that in my job, I'd be sacked. Do you know what I mean? So it works both ways. I'm going to go as well. But can I just say one thing as well?
Yes, mate.
Can anyone who has a spare fiver or whatever donate to Nicola J. Scott at yahoo.co.uk. She's a lovely woman. I emailed her after Wednesday's show and she got back to me. Lovely lady, and it's a fantastic charity to win a lovely signed book. So Nicola J. Scott at yahoo.co.uk.
Well done, Andy. You saved me a job at the end of the show. Well done. I think we'll be joined by Thomas. Speak to you later, Andy. Cheers, Thomas. How we doing?
Sorry for butting in there.
That's all right.
It's just poor, wasn't it? That game was poor.
Oh, it wasn't that good, mate.
See the last two games? See what I've noticed about Gio? He's not interacting with the players. He just ran down that tunnel at the end of the match. Every other manager out there and getting on to the players, I don't know. I think he's get up and all himself.
Do you think he knows, Thomas?
I think so, because I stuck by him. I try to give him a chance, because you don't get a Europa League final and you're a bad manager. You know what I mean?
Aye.
I think the players have chalked it. They're not playing as a team. I think when Connor Goldson went out injured, it's ever went since that problem. Or whether he gets because he gets 37 grand. Maybe I think that's how players have took a disliking to all the kind of the background stuff.
There's a lot going on.
Crack him in. Crack him in, Ox.
On you go, Smurf.
Geez, no think that. I mean, I'm no his Goldson's biggest fan all the time. You know that. Sometimes you think he's a world beater, another time you think, he's a joke.
We've missed him, mate. We've missed him. Is he no? I think what this is exposed for me, and I think this is why I would like to give Gio at the end of the season. There's a number of reasons. Number one, I think the natural captain of Rangers Football Club, that squad, is Connor Goldson. And I don't think Tavernier's ever been a captain, if I'm being brutally honest. And I think him coming back would have a real impact. And then if he can get a partnership going with Ben Davies, hopefully, again, that gives us a foundation to work upon. The other thing is as well, Gio and his backroom team came in a 3.5 years contract. We've got to be sort of cock-canny with the money and what we're doing. And to me, the league's gone. Let's see what the next 5 weeks brings. Maybe you can get foster a bit of fighting spirit and a bit of coaching and a bit of, air their grievances and find some common ground and a bit of fight and maybe a few players coming back. Get to the end of the season. And if he's going to go at the end of the season, you're looking at paying out 2 years of a contract and no 2.5 years or 3 years. You get what I mean? So see that half a year's contract, and I'm only guessing here. I'm right. That would cost about $750,000 extra, right? Roughly.
Right.
To get rid of the whole cut. See if we don't get it right, mate. We lose more. Both stars mentioned hospitality. I've mentioned walk-ins, people walking into
I get it.
People getting in the shops. Christmas is coming up. You're affecting the retail. Money's going to get tighter and tighter in the next 6 months. People are going to think twice about spending their money on. They might so we might not be able to afford to keep them, mate. Never mind.
I get it, but the other thing is as well that what I'm thinking is, who have they got in the pipeline? It's a reactionary thing then. Well, we've got rid of a manager, so we're going to need to get in.
We should always plan, mate. We should have always had selections, because you never know when somebody's going to walk away. In any business, like we do, we keep personnel all there. You have to have a plan in case he gets knocked down or run under the bus, yeah? I don't know who's doing all the talking. Right, carry on. Albert?
Absolutely, man. That's down to Wilson. He should have his so-called wee black book or his list that he keeps going on about. So if he's not got somebody, which he probably won't, we shouldn't keep a manager because we can't think of another manager to put in his place.
And if that's not the way it works. Planning, mate, it's time for him to follow him out the door and all, yeah?
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Smurf?
I would, if it was me, I would have made the decision that he's going, but I would be planning for the end of the season just to give us the opportunity to some succession plan, and you can engage with your future manager and look at players that they would want to be bringing in and who would want to keep, for a distance, you know what I mean? And I just think
sure, would it not be better if you wanted the manager in if you could get him in now?
Yeah,
well,
and let him deal with our players, the ones that are there.
Right, so who are they? Who is this mystery manager? We don't even know. There's probably nobody in the radar.
We need to see who.
Exactly.
We need to see first of all who applied, who we could attract, because after all, it's Scottish football. Yeah, you need to see who you could attract and who applied. There's two names that have been put out there. The boy who was with Leeds United, he's got a philosophy in football. You need to be fit to play for him. And there's a boy who, I remember he brought a team up to plays a few years back when I think Warburton might have been the manager, I'm not sure. When he brought his Burnley's team up, Sean Dykes. There's two just off the top of my head, but they might not be interested. You'd need to see who applied or who's in the pipeline. Albert.
That's it, mate. Whoever's available. I mean, the Dykes one, that's an interesting one, by the way. I would take Dykes in a minute for the domestic stuff, but I'm not too sure about the European stuff. And the European stuff's important. Because Gerrard showed us how to win in Europe. Right? Van Bronckhorst just carried it on because it was his team. Now, if you're bringing in another guy who's no any experience in Europe, well, you're back to square one again in Europe. No, I mean, and don't get me wrong, the Champions League suggests that we are back to square one in Europe. But there's a style of play right through the club, remember. So whatever manager comes in, they'll have to follow that style of play. This is this continuity thing they keep going on about why, and that's why you've got a sporting director or a director of football.
If that's the style of play it's like through the club, we might as well get rid of everybody.
That's why. Well, I would think that as well, mate, because it's rubbish.
What about Mick Beale at the end of the season? Do you think it would, would that be somebody people would agree would be a good option for us?
Obviously depends. I think that combination split up, mate. The combination worked well for us, and they've went their separate ways. One of them's no working this now. I suppose if you're signing on, you'd always take a job. You know what I mean? But I think that ship might have sailed. Denver.
I'm sticking with Gio at the moment. I'm with Smurf here. I just don't see the point in changing it at the moment. As 5 weeks might be vital. I'm just holding on to hope. That's all.
That's because you're a nice guy, Denver, and Smurf.
Can you?
Denver's that loyally dies here for Gio.
Can we record that? What you just said there? See that guy they go for Man City. What is his position? Apart from sitting on the bench doing nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what, since he's come in the door, the form's been atrocious.
I listen to his Denver. I listen to his interview in Heart and Hand. It's lasted for about half an hour, and I'm telling you right now, by the way, that guy just talks bollocks, absolute bollocks. He's on there talking about 3 and 5 year plans, and I'm saying to myself, you're just getting your job. You get yourself a job for 3 to 5 years. With no measures, you can't measure what he's doing. It's all off the cuff and see what happens. And I'm going, take your degree and bugger off. No, I mean, just go and stack shelves and
I know he listens to this show and he says the exact same about you.
Well, my time's up. I'm retired, mate, so I've done my bit for Britain.
Oh dear. Right. Okay, right. Well, we've reached that time of the afternoon there. We'll just get in there. Last word to your good self. We'll start.
I just think, Cox, if they're going to stick with Gio, they've got to give him funds in January or summer. But for me, first and foremost, Europe's a way off now. We've got to consolidate in the Scottish game, and we've got to dominate that other side. And for me, we need somebody that knows something about the Scottish game. So Sean Dyche at Burnley and that, yes, he kept them in the Premier League, but their football was absolutely torture to watch, so I wouldn't be going for him. But we can only hope. We're bored know what they're going to do in contingency plans, and we've just got to hope it gets better. But I don't think we're going to see that in the short term, guys.
All right, cheers, mate. Old Davey.
Aye, thanks for listening to me rambling on. We are where we are, guys, and hopefully things will pick up. But what's more important is tomorrow I'll be at Paisley Cenotaph to pay my respects to a lot of good people. So I think that's what matters.
That's more important. You're right, mate, and that is real. What we're talking about is football. David, did you get that? Did you get that letter for Rangers Radio, mate?
Well, come on, hit me with it.
Just sign it. Just sign it and send it back. It's just giving me your carer's allowance, right? Okay. All right.
I like it.
Right, I'll speak to you later, David.
Right, bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. Smurf?
Aye, well, onwards and upwards. I just think let's limp through to the end of the season, do some planning, and try and blood some youth, get some players, get some positive out of it, see what the next 5 weeks brings. But what I will say is I would definitely change Gio, but I would do it at the end of the season if I could. I don't think this is the right time.
Mate, doing this show at the end of the season, watching that football, it's bad and hard enough, mate. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Jimmy?
Well, thanks. It was a great show. Regardless of what happens, the tide will turn and the Rangers will come again, like, you know. There's nothing sure on that. Nothing sure on that. And the good times will come. But as I say, I think Gio might have to fall. And that's sad, you know. But I think that'll happen. Thanks very much, lads. Cheerio.
Cheers, mate. Albert?
Well, Tavernier said we're a possession-based football team. I wish we weren't, because that's torture to watch that. The less of the ball we've got, the better we look. So, apart from that, onward and upwards, and I don't think we're going onwards and upwards till we get rid of him.
Denver, last word, Burra?
9 o'clock in the morning. I think I'll go back to my bed, guys. That's it. So, anyway, all the best. Thanks for taking my call, guys. All the best.
Cheers, mate. Cheers to all the callers. Cheers to Albert. Cheers to Fox and Old School Boy for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio, and I'm sure this debate will continue Monday night. We'll be back at 8 o'clock talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Boy.